Well. I actually never thought that I would be writing a script ever again, but here I am. So today's video is about the best free-to-play loadouts or weapons or armors that you can obtain on consoles in 2023 for every class. A lot has changed over the years in WARFACE, specifically about the free-to-play aspect. For example, in 2018 when the game got released on consoles, you had almost no chance whatsoever against the best weapons with your free-to-play equipment. But that has changed, really. So I'm here to prove to you that being free-to-play in 2023 isn't actually the worst, like a lot of people say. You just need to be dedicated enough to get these weapons as a free-to-play player. The video will be divided into two sections. First, the best weapons for each class, and then the best armors to use. Both sections will have subsections for PvP and PvE respectively. I've added timestamps on the screen, so feel free to go to the class you want to hear about. A quick disclaimer, this is my opinion. Don't take it too seriously, play any weapon that you like to play. Some weapons are just better than others and you have to accept that. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's start with the video. For the Rifleman class, there are quite a lot of options actually. Recently, we got a new permanent sharp addition for crowns, the golden AK-12. The AK-12 features a good amount of bullets, a low recoil, and a decent amount of damage. You will still headshot hit marker some players due to their armor, but that's just a general problem in Warface nowadays. Now, hear me out, I know the AK-12 costs 45,000 crowns, but that is actually not even that much if you think about it. I've been playing PvE lately and I grinded about 3,000 to 5,000 crowns a day by just playing Hydra, Blackwood, Swarm and Heist every day. By only completing these 4 spec ops, you will receive 1,950 crowns, 600 for the Heist, 550 for Swarm, and 400 for Hydra and Blackwood. And the best thing is, these spec ops aren't even that difficult. That doesn't take into consideration the crowns you get from ranked. So in about 23 days you should be able to buy a golden gun for crowns. This method isn't really for everyone because it involves playing PvE, which is not liked by everyone. The next weapon on my list is the AK Alpha. Now, the AK Alpha on the other hand is fairly easy to obtain. You need 200,000 WARFACE dollars and it'll be yours in no time. Just complete a contract that you can purchase for 40,000 WARFACE dollars and get yourself 200 AK Alpha cards. Do that 4 more times and there you go. The best part about the AK Alpha is that it is moddable since the modification update. I've linked my video about the modification update down in the description, so feel free to watch it if you don't know how the system works. The AK Alpha becomes extremely broken once you fully mod it. The AK Alpha also has a 6.0 headshot multiplier, which allows it to headshot one-shot most of the times. It can't be compared to a fully modded SA Hellion though, because the pay-to-win aspect is better after all, but at least it gives you a chance against it. Now, the last rifle I would suggest to free-to-play players is the normal Zagraj AR-15. It is by far the worst on the list, but still a viable option for free-to-play players who just started playing the game. It can be obtained by the vendor and is also moddable, but since it isn't a unique gun, the mods aren't that great, but they still make the weapon better. Rifleman and free-to-play PvE options don't really go hand in hand, but the best option as a free-to-play player should be the Zagraj AR-15 LMG. With its 100 round mag and a fairly easy recoil pattern, it can be very effective in most missions. The Zagraj AR-15 LMG can be obtained by the Heist weekly box. You have a small chance to get the cards, but in a few weeks you should be able to get it. On top of that, you can also get free cards by the contract Reaching New Heights. Fully completing this contract will grant you 600 free cards in total, so getting this weapon isn't that difficult. Another option that you have is the Parasite Hera arms. This one is also obtained by a weekly box, but this time it's Swarm. You also need 1000 cards for this one, but the same concept applies to it since it's craftable, so free cards also work. The last option for PvE is the RPD custom. I wouldn't recommend buying it though, since it's worse than the other 2 options I gave you. It has 100 shots, or 120 if you count in the gold version, just like the Zagraj LMG, but the recoil pattern and the damage makes it a hard weapon to play, so I would just stick to the Zagraj LMG. The RPD custom is obtained from WARFACE dollar boxes in the shop. Now, the medic class probably is the worst when it comes to free-to-play options for PvP, but still here are some recommendations. So there is the golden Uzcon for 45,000 crowns, just like the AK-12, the Uzcon is permanently in the shop. It really isn't as good as it used to be, but you can still play with it. I definitely don't recommend buying it though, it really isn't worth the crowns. What's also a viable option, but I don't recommend buying either, is the Typhoon F12. This one is obtained by crafting. The only way to get it is to complete the Reaching New Heights contract twice, which on its own takes roughly 2 months. But the good thing about it is that it's also moddable. It isn't really a great shotgun, but it's decent. Now, by far the best free-to-play option in my opinion is the Typhoon F12 Custom. This one has better stats than a normal Typhoon, but unfortunately it isn't moddable. The way to obtain this weapon is via hard PvE completions, since you get 2 Cobalt Kinetic card boxes when you complete a mission. In these boxes you have a chance to get the Typhoon F12 custom cards. You also get some other really good weapon cards in there, like the Edge Rifle Stealth Pistol or the 27, which I'm gonna talk about a little later. Since it's craftable as well, you can use free cards to speed up the process. It is also possible to obtain this gun from the shop for 40,000 crowns, but it is smarter to use the free cards instead of using the 40,000 crowns. Now over to PvE. The only 2 good options are the already mentioned Typhoon F12 Custom, and the much better option, the Parasite Fostech Origin 12. It has the most amount of bullets out of all shotguns. It has a pretty good range and even the reload speed is pretty fast. It can be obtained from the weekly Swarm box and free cards. The Fostech is by far the best free-to-play PvE option, and it will probably stay like that for a long time. Now over to the lovely Engineer. The first weapon that I would recommend even to pay-to-win players is the Chris Super V Custom. It not only has a very cool design, but it's also moddable. With the Deadly Precision mod, it can deal 100 damage per shot and can one-shot the head with its 5.4 headshot multiplier. The way to obtain this gun is easy, even for free-to-play players. Just buy the contract for the Chris Super V Custom, craft it for 30,000 WARFACE dollars, and enjoy yourself one of the best engineer guns in the game. The second option is the golden AMB-17. This one used to be a very powerful gun, but it kinda fell apart with the release of the rock solid and graphite armor, because it only headshot hit markers nowadays. It is obtained from the shop for 45,000 crowns. The Chris Custom is way better though. The last free-to-play option is the Gilboa Snake DBR. The Gilboa can be obtained from crafting. With its 1030 RPM and its 60 rounds in its mag, it can be a devastating weapon. It is still not better than the Chris, but still viable. The PvE options for the Engineer aren't that big. You can either use the Parasite Thompson M1928, which is obtained by the weekly box for Swarm, but a much better option is the ACR CQB Custom. The ACR CQB Custom has a lot of bullets, and I mean that. It has 50 bullets in the clip and has 300 bullets to reload. With the Wallet Vest, it has a total of 1050 bullets. The way to obtain it is also by crafting. You need 1000 free cards to get yourself this beautiful gun. It is also available in Blackwood, so just play Blackwood Operation and you will get it eventually. The Sniper is the worst class when it comes to free-to-play PvP options, but by far the best option is the CDX MC Kraken. It is obtained by crafting, or if you're lucky, also from Hydra. There is a contract where you get 200 cards for a gun. Just complete it 5 times and there you go. For the Kraken to be viable in PvP, you do need the heavy frame mod though. It's a pain in the ass to farm that since you get it on level 39 of the gun. The thing about Sniper is that there are no really good bold action snipers in WARFACE right now, so it might be better if you just don't play Sniper at all. In PvE on the other hand, it's completely different. The one and only option for the Sniper that even pay-to-win players can use is the Cobalt Kinetics 27. A few updates ago it got a huge buff, because the silencer doesn't decrease the damage anymore, so you can also play Sunrise with it. The way to obtain this broken gun is via the Cobalt Kinetics card boxes that you get after completing a hard spec ops or via free cards. And once you have it, you'll never need another sniper for PvE ever again. Now, pistols can be used by every class with the exception of Zed, and pistols are liked more or less depending on who uses it. But coming back to the topic, there is no really good pistol in WARFACE. Use whatever you like the most. To get a good pistol, you should wait on a PvE event. A PvE event happens once every 3 or 4 months or so, depending on how generous WARFACE is. If you don't want to wait, try pulling the CZ75 Checkmate Parrot or use the Matiba Auto Revolver. Now, to quickly sum up every weapon that has been stated so far, for rifle we have got the Golden AK-12, AK Alpha and the Zagrei for PvP, the Big Score Zagrei AR-15 LMG, the Parasite Hera Arms and the RPD for PvE. For medic we have got the Golden Uzcon UNG-12, Typhoon F-12 and the Typhoon F-12 Custom for PvP, and for PvE we have got the Typhoon F-12 Custom and the Parasite Fostic Argent 12. For engineer, we have got the Chris Super V Custom, Golden AMB 17, and the Gilboa Snake DBR for PvP, and for PvE, we have got the Parasite Thompson M1928 and Blackwood ACRC QB Custom. For sniper, we have got the CDX MC Kraken for PvP, and the Cobalt Kinetics 27 for PvE. For set, yeah, whatever, we don't talk about set. And for pistols, you're pretty much free of choice. Disclaimer. This part contains some information about different armors and what playstyle suits them. I won't go into a lot of details on these armors, just use whatever feels the best for you. Okay, so on the Rifleman class there are 2 different approaches. The first one is the aggressive approach. The armor set I would suggest is either the rock solid helmet, rock solid vest, beta Rifleman gloves and the Atlas shoes. With this set you're very fast because of the Atlas shoes. You also have a decent amount of reload speed. You are also able to withstand an anti-personnel mine because of the 2 rock solid pieces. That makes it a very aggressive armor type. You can also switch the beta gloves with the rock solid gloves, then you'll be able to regenerate health and shield. What's also possible is that you just switch the rock solid pieces with graphite pieces. You will be able to tank a little bit more, but regenerate at a very slow pace. The armor will cost 50,000 WARFACE dollars and 500 crowns. When you use more rock solid pieces or graphite pieces, the price will change. The other approach is the more defensive one. The set will be the same, with either a full rock solid or full graphite set. The armor is purchased in the shop and costs 20,000 WARFACE dollars per piece, so 80,000 in total. For PvE, depending on what mission you are playing, the armor changes, but rock solid is the best for most missions, so just use the rock solid armor. The armor for medic is very simple and universal. I wouldn't recommend using any other sets but graphite, since it's fast and you are tanking a lot. You also regenerate as a side effect. The armor set will cost 80,000 WARFACE dollars. Just like I already said on the Rifleman, there are also 2 different approaches on Engineer. Again, the aggressive and defensive playstyle. The aggressive one is practically the same as on Rifleman, just with the use of the Sigma boots. So, going top to bottom, it's Graphite, Graphite, Beta, Sigma. It provides you with a pretty fast speed, a pretty fast reload, and a good amount of HP. The defensive one is also the same as on Rifleman with the usage of the full rock solid or full graphite set. The armor costs 80,000 WARFACE dollars. On PvE, you should use the graphite armor, because it is the tankiest. Okay, so for sniper it's pretty complicated because the class is pretty bad currently, so I can't really give you a good recommendation. Just by looking at the stats, the best armor should be the graphite set, but I can't guarantee it. Just use whatever you want pretty much. For PvE it's pretty much the exact same, either use the graphite set or rock solid one. What's also a good option, at least if you have a good team, is the full gamma set, with beta gloves and Sigma boots. The best armor for set? Wait, why are you even here?
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Now, everything I said in this video is just my point of view. The game isn't what it used to be. A lot of free-to-play options are available as of right now, and it'll only be more. And with that being said, this video took me about 12 hours to make, so I would appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe maybe. It helps me a lot. So thank you for watching till the end. Have a wonderful day. and I'll see you in the next one.